Hi, guys. How's it going? I'm hoping everyone is having a wonderful day. Tonight's guest is a woman who chose to move here to Haiti. And not only that, to build her life here in Haiti. You guys know we love hearing people who portray Haiti in a positive light and who not only portray Haiti but live in Haiti in a positive way, enjoy it. She could have chose to be anywhere else in the world, but she chose Haiti. So I want to welcome you guys. Let me know where you tuned in from as we get the show started, and don't forget to please share with family and friends as we get started. Hello, Estain. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Please share the live, guys, and welcome our guest to the show. It is her first time being here, and if you would like to follow our guest, you can also find her on TikTok, guys. I'll let her share more about herself. But let's go ahead and bring our guest on to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. Once again, thank you for accepting my invitation to come on to the show. I want to thank you so much for accepting.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. People on Life in Haiti do not know who you are. Can you introduce yourself to the Life in Haiti family and share a little bit about yourself as we get this show started?
Yeah, so my name's Angelica, and I first came to Haiti in 2016 on a 1 week trip, just like a lot of other Americans that either lived in Haiti or currently still live here. And after going back and forth for 2 years, I moved full time in August of 2018. So I'm coming up on 8 years full time in Haiti. And this May is 10 years since the first time that I stepped foot in Haiti. We started a nonprofit in 2022 in October. And yeah, we're just kind of doing a bunch of things with women. And I'll let you ask me questions so that I don't just keep talking.
Feel free, you can speak. Where did your journey begin? Because I follow you on TikTok and I see all of this wonderful stuff you're always sharing when it comes to Haiti. That's what grabbed my attention. I needed to follow you a little bit more to see maybe she's here visiting, but then the more I followed, I realized, hey, Angelica lives here. So tell us a little bit about your journey. What brought you to Haiti to begin with?
Yeah, so in 2016, I came on a 1 week trip, and the whole reason why I came is because I had just graduated college. I went to college to be a teacher. I graduated, and my parents asked me what I wanted for a graduation gift. And at that point, I'd been sponsoring a little boy that lived in Haiti through like just an organization school sponsorship. And I told them that I wanted to go to Haiti to visit. So I did that in May of 2016 and just for a week, and came and did what a lot of other people do on, mission trips, and saw a bunch of places in Port-au-Prince. This is before things got, as bad as they are right now.
Mhm.
And then I went back to the US and thought I was going to apply just to get a teaching job. Like, I was fresh out of college. I was supposed to get a teaching job for that August. And I came back and told my parents that I was going to take a year off and just substitute teach and pick up a bunch of jobs so that I could come back to Haiti. So in November of that same year, I came back to Haiti for 3 months for the 90-day visa allowance that you're legally supposed to have. And I helped do a little bit of work in an orphanage. I was very naive at the time, and I didn't know a ton of stuff that I do now.
Mm.
So I just helped them get a school up and going.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so that's how I got here.
So, just from that little bit of work, when did you decide that, what grabbed your heart? Because a lot of times, Angelica, when it comes to Haiti, people will visit, but then they are ready to go.
Yeah,
They're ready to leave. This it's an experience for them,
yep.
but very few actually keep coming and coming and coming, especially when it comes with doing charity. What kept you drawn back to Haiti?
Yeah, I really think it was the people. Um, I know like that's such a cliche thing to say, but I had just met a lot of really good people. And just like throughout the way, like they just kind of helped me be able to live here longer term and longer term. I actually met a Haitian friend that told me about Quisqueya Christian School because he knew I had such a heart for the country and knew that if I could, I would move back full time. And I ended up getting a job there in August of 2018, which allowed me to move full time financially at the time. But I think it was just like the relationships that I was building and what I was able to do here. I was here for about 3 years before I like officially got into the nonprofit world. Um, but yeah, I think it was just the connections that I was making and seeing that, this is around the time where I didn't know Haiti before I came to Haiti. I had no idea Haiti existed. So I don't know what that tells you about the American education system. But,
Mm.
I had heard about the Dominican Republic and Punta Cana and places like that. Um, but when I had started sponsoring that little boy, I didn't even know where Haiti was, let alone that it was so close to the south of Florida. So I think the more that I had just come back and forth and back and forth and the relationships that I was starting to build, I realized that I wanted to be here longer than just, a week here, 2 weeks there. Um, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So the little boy that you sponsored, I mean, are you a part of his life, and are you still active in his life? How is that?
Yeah, so the organization was a very small one, and it kind of has traded directors a lot. But I'm still in contact with the Haitians that work with him, and still
Mhm.
get to keep up and see what he's doing. He's getting very big. He's like in his preteens right now, and I started sponsoring him when he was like 4. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, still around. I definitely don't get to see him just because he's in Port-au-Prince, and I've moved to like the outskirts of Port-au-Prince. But yeah, still keep up that relationship.
Awesome. So I'm gathering that you are in a on the countryside where you get to really, really enjoy Haiti. What do you enjoy the most about living in Haiti?
I think the like beauty. Like the country has so much just natural beauty. And I think one of the reasons why it's honestly still as beautiful as it is because it's not filled with a lot of tourism and a lot of people that are visiting. Like it's very untouched natural beauty. There's a beautiful waterfall that's like 40 minutes away from my house. And there's not, in the US or in other countries, when you have a beautiful natural attraction, it gets filled up with people and they put ropes everywhere and everything like that. But Haiti just has so much naturally untouched beauty just because the tourism industry isn't that big here. It's getting bigger in Cap Haitian, but where I am, nobody's coming to visit. um, so yeah, I think just the natural beauty. Like I've gone to the Dominican Republic, I've gone to Puerto Rico, I've gone to Costa Rica, like I've gone to a lot of surrounding countries. And
Mhm.
I don't think I'm biased with saying this. Like I think Haiti is the most naturally beautiful country between the mountains and the beaches and the landscaping. Like Haiti is one of the prettier ones, if not the prettiest.
Awesome. Let me ask you, you've been to different parts of Haiti too. One second, Angelica. You guys, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to please share the live as we get started on the live. And if you guys have a question, because I know so many of you guys are wondering, is it possible to move to Haiti? What would life be like? People have a lot of questions, and I know you get a lot of questions, especially through your TikTok.
Yeah.
How have it been like? How have the community really embraced you as an individual within the community?
Yeah. So I have switched communities a few different times due to different ministry changes.
Hmm.
And I feel like everywhere that I have moved, so I used to live in the south of Haiti. I actually lived in two very different locations in the south of Haiti. And now I'm in the central plateau area.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like I'm always very well received by the people currently living in Haiti. Like the community that I end up in, like I feel like they're excited, and we do a lot of programs in the communities, and I feel like I try really hard to like get to know my neighbors and like spend time outside of just like being inside the walls and the gates and all of that stuff. Like I try to get to know people and build those relationships, because so many people that are American, they come and go. And that is just the reality. And I don't know if that reality will change anytime soon. But my relationships with the Haitians and the community that I've lived in, like that is what keeps me here when a lot of other people have left. Um, and I'm very blessed that the Lord has just really put me in different communities that I'm very well received. And, I think part of that is my, want to get involved with the community. But
Hmm.
also just, yeah, I've been very lucky with very wonderful people around me.
True. How important it is for someone wanting to move back to Haiti to be involved in, pretty much not so much, but to an extent to get to know their community. How important is that?
Oh, I would say it's the most important thing. Like, especially as like living in a country where tomorrow everything around you could just like implode. And that's just a reality. No matter where you are in the country, there's always pay lock and there's always just stuff happening. And,
Mhm.
the amount of times that like my neighbors have offered to like go to the market for me because it's not super safe for me to be out on the street that particular day. Or, the amount of times that my neighbors have let me know that something's going to be happening in a few days that I had no idea. And they're telling me to stock up on gas and propane and food and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
I think it is one of the most important things. And I think in a country like Haiti, I don't think the US is like this as much, but Haiti, it really is all about your community and who you know and who's going to look out for you. And it's not just as an American, like it's Haitians helping Haitians. So I think it is the most important thing.
What would be your suggestion, Angelica, for someone who's looking to move, especially to Haiti?
Yeah.
Um, where do they begin? What would you say to them if moving to Haiti is a part of their plan? Or
Yeah.
possibly someone too being returned to Haiti, because there are some people facing being returned back to Haiti, especially with the TPS program.
Yeah. I would say if you're able and if you're able to keep a job like this, I would highly recommend getting an online job. I think it's the easiest way to sustain yourself in Haiti. I think it's guaranteed income. I feel like a lot of organizations that a lot of people used to get employment through are no longer hiring. If anything, they're laying off because of different problems with fundraising and different things, especially given the state of, America's economy, the US's economy. But I would say if you're able to get an online job, that could really sustain you in Haiti, especially because Haiti is not as cheap as people think. And I would say like you do need like a decent US salary to be able to live here comfortably. Food prices are really expensive. Gas is really expensive. Everything's very expensive here. Um, so I would say if you're able to do that, Obviously, if you have to come back and you're not able to keep a US job, I would say like try really hard to end up in an area that you know maybe somebody. Obviously, if a lot of your family is living in Port-au-Prince, it might be hard and you may not want to go back there. But I think just having even one or two people that you know to have that starting connection is really important. So I think that's like my top two pieces of advice.
What would you suggest is the average income for someone to have living in Haiti? How expensive do you find it living in Haiti? Because I've shared this, but having someone else share their experience as well is important. How much do you think at a minimum someone can make? um, how inexpensive have you found housing, and what are some of the amenities that comes with it?
Yeah. I would say you're looking at anywhere between $500 and $1,000 to rent a house right now. When I first started renting, you could get it between $4,000 to $6,000 a year. Now, in multiple different locations, I'm hearing anywhere from 6 to 12. 12 is probably on the higher side, and you're not even talking big houses. Like you're talking like a few bedrooms. So I would say you're talking just for the house. I would say $500 to $1,000 a month. Outside of that, we eat pretty frugally. Sorry, I just choked on my word.
Mhm.
And we eat a lot of Haitian food. We eat in the market. We're spending like $100 a week on groceries. And that's like a pretty basic meal plan, where a lot of times I wish it was a little bit more. So you're talking, I'd say $400 a month in groceries. And then on top of that, a lot of houses don't come with power. If they do, you're probably talking you're going to be paying the $12,000 range. But power, an electrical system to run like a basic freezer and fridge and to be consistent with your power, to run a Starlink, you're talking is 8 to 10 grand. So that's, a one-time expense, but you're talking 8 to 10 grand, that you have to put onto a house that you're already renting for 6 to 10,000. So I would say realistically, to live comfortably and not be really struggling, I would say at least 15,000. And that's like bare
For the year? For the year?
Yeah. I would even say probably closer to 20. By the time you factor in your rent, your food, installing solar, paying Starlink. Starlink is now like $85 a month in a lot of areas because they did away with their like $55 plan in a lot of areas. They say they're full. So, that's almost $100 a month just to have internet. Yeah, I would say 15,000.
How easy?
Would you agree with that?
15, I would say a little bit more, because
Yeah.
imagine if you're renting, Angelica, for 50, let's say between 6 to 12.
Yeah.
Let's say if you end up at 10.
Yeah.
And if you have to put in your own electricity system, a decent system, especially to run a Starlink standard kit, it takes electricity, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It pulls a lot.
A lot of electricity.
Yeah.
So you would need electricity that's minimum about 5,000. What you say?
I would honestly say a little bit more. Like, we're looking at installing a solar system, and granted, we're trying to not run out of power, but I would say with 5,000, you might be running out of power on a cloudy day. So, it's a lot of money.
That there is already at 15,000.
Yes, I would say 15,000 a year after you put in your solar. That's what I would say.
After you get stable, right?
Yeah.
To
make a move? Yeah, it's expensive.
The initial move. Now, there's So hold on. There's a few things, right, that people wonder about.
Yeah.
How easy do you find it, Angelica, to purchase property here? Have you had family or friends? I mean, to purchase something. How easy have that been for you?
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of backlash on that on TikTok. Um, but I had a friend in this area because I relocated. So I didn't know many people in this area that I bought land and made the move to.
Mhm.
Um, Mostly because in the South, and I'm not going to speak for the entire South, but in the South where I was located, there's a lot of land wars. Um, like literally, like you hear probably at least once a month of somebody getting shot because they bought a piece of land that somebody else actually owed. And one of the reasons why I was drawn to this area is because it's not like that here, is what I've been told. So I think it varies area to area for sure. But making sure that you know somebody that you trust somewhere in the general area that can make sure that you're not buying land that basically has false paperwork. Um, was a huge thing for me, especially being American. Like, I know that I would lose. So I had to really do my due diligence and make sure that I trusted the person that was helping me find land. He knew the area very, very well, because you hear about people's land being taken a lot. As far as the actual land purchasing, it's pretty easy. You need to just line things up. So I was very lucky. The person that I bought the land from is actually now my fiance. That's how we met. But at the time, we weren't dating. I didn't even know him. But I ended up buying his land, and he had really good connections with the person that comes out and measures the land and the person that like signs off on the paper and all of that. So he was able to link it up in just a few days. I know that's not normal. So I would say it takes a few weeks because you need them both to come at the same time. And if you know anything about Haiti, you know one person is not showing up. So it could take multiple meetings, just
Mhm.
to get them both there at the same time. But really making
Don't
sure that
have
you're
a
linking.
neighbor that shares your board a border with you and that's disputing it. So now they also have to be present. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I bought a smaller section of a very big piece of land that he owned, so I didn't have bordering people. He was the bordering people.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of different things that could happen there. And you may upset a neighbor, you know, that thinks his land went to a certain point, and when it gets remeasured, he realizes no, he, you know, has a few less feet of land and stuff like that. Um, but I would say once you're able to link up those people, it was fairly easy. You know, you hand them the money that they're owed for, you know, doing the land purchase, and you hand the person that you're buying the land from the money. You do it all in front of them. At least that's how it worked for me.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, you sign your documents, and then they take it and they get it, you know, notarized, or I think that's what it would be called in English. Um,
Hmm.
and then you get your land paperwork.
Yeah,
Uh,
you get it surveyed,
yeah,
but
the
they
land
call
measurement.
it the apate, yes.
Yeah,
But you just have to be very careful when it comes to purchasing property
yeah,
in Haiti because it's imperative for you to be sure and
yeah,
have people in the neighborhood to make sure that this property is clean property.
yeah.
You mentioned your husband, and I was gonna ask you because you're very vocal, and when I watch you, I can feel the love that you have for your husband.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of just answered my question, but I'm going to ask anyways. How did you guys meet?
Yeah.
That's my next question for you.
Yeah.
How did
So,
you guys meet?
yeah. So we're engaged. We get married in July officially. We just set a date.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome.
but we met because I bought his land. And a mutual friend connected us. I actually was in the final like negotiation process with another guy um, through the phone. Like he was living in Port-au-Prince. And the guy that was helping me look for land, my Haitian friend out here, called me right after we had gotten done with those final negotiations, you know, just like making sure that we were all okay. Nothing was signed. We were just agreeing on price. And he called me and he said, "You have to talk to my friend. I didn't know he was selling his land. His land is everything that you want. You have to come and meet him." And so the next day he came and picked me up. I was staying about 45 minutes away from where I was looking at land with another friend. And he came and picked me up the next day, and we had a 45-minute drive. So he kind of gave me his whole life story in that 45-minute drive. And I went and looked at the land, and he showed me a few different spots that I was looking for a pretty small piece of land. So he showed me a few different spots that he was willing to kind of like cut. And I loved the area. Like I was like, this is everything that I was hoping, which obviously that other guy knew. But yeah, I bought his land. And then as we just spoke about, like, it takes a few different meetings. It went very fast for me, but I still had to go, you know, I had to take a bunch of pictures and I had to do a bunch of things. Also knowing that we needed to go back and like report to donors because my organization bought the land. And so, yeah, we just had spent a few days together and kind of like that consistency of seeing each other. And then my Sunrise Airways flight got canceled, which seems to happen to me a lot. It just happened to me the other day. So I went to Cap Haitian to fly out. When all of this was said and done, I bought the land. We were good to go. I told him, you know, I was looking forward to being his neighbor in a year and a half. And I couldn't fly out, so I had to come back for another week. And he offered to drive me out through the DR so that I could get back to the South that way. And when we were in the car, he was just kind of like, "Do you think this could ever be a thing with us?" And I was like, "Whoa, like I'm like moving my whole life." And I was like, you know, maybe. And a month later, he came to the South to visit me, and then we started dating.
So, you were already going to move to Haiti all by yourself way before him?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I moved very single. Like I did not move for any guy. I did not date for a long time in Haiti. I was just really, I knew that I wanted to be here. And I tried to date like one American guy, and he told me he had Haitian friends and he would never ask me to come home. And yeah, about 2 weeks in, he was like, "I think you should move back to the US." And I was like, "I think we're done talking." So yeah, it was really hard to meet people.
I mean, does he speak English? Ou parle Creole?
Yeah,
Ou parle Creole?
we, but he's Haitian American, so he
Okay.
does speak English. That's one of the reasons. I guess, well, not why he was selling his land, but that is why the Haitian friend, he had, you know, different motives outside of the land.
He was trying to hook you up, right?
He was trying to hook us up, and he succeeded, and I think he's very happy about it.
I mean, I think you guys, you know, sometimes God puts you together with just the right person because you can see love all in each other's eyes, okay?
Yeah.
You also adopted a little girl, did you?
So that's his daughter.
That's his daughter, okay.
Yeah, so that's his daughter. So no. But yes, I mean, she'll be like my daughter moving forward, but
she is.
Yeah, I did not adopt her before him. She's his daughter.
So something that I am very passionate about here, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to please share the live. Let me give a shout out to Raphael Lagunti. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. My two lovely and beautiful sisters, how are you doing? Tell her I say thank you for everything she is doing for us. I adore her. I love her. You got a fan here too, Angelica.
Thank you. Thank you. I love your country.
Yes, someone who follows you on TikTok. Well, if somebody would like to follow you on TikTok, where would they find you?
Yes, let me pull up. I think it's Angelica's. Let me pull it up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I've changed the name like 3 times. It's
Okay.
Angelica.it adventure.
Okay.
So yeah, you can follow me there.
Follow her there, guys, and she gives you an adventure. How do you find time to post as busy as you are?
I just try to post like what I'm doing. So a lot of it's just stuff that I'm already doing, but I only recently started posting. Um, I really didn't know much about posting on TikTok. I just would go and scroll other people's TikToks. But one day I was like, man, I do some really cool stuff here. And I think it's just fun to share it. And then I started getting a few more followers, and they, either started asking questions that I would respond to, or wanting to see different things. So I try to reply back as much as I can.
Awesome. Can please excuse me, charge it to my the tongue and not my heart. I want to do that sometimes as American of Haitian descent, but I don't like the political instability. I'm not scared of insecurity though. What would you say to people that their only point of view, Angelica, of Haiti is what is said on the news? What would you say to them who are watching us from Haiti?
Yeah, I would say it's not what it looks like on the news. And that's something that I literally have right in my bio on TikTok, is that I'm sharing the side of Haiti that the news doesn't show you. You just had that interview, the CNN interview, and they showed you Port-au-Prince. And that is what Port-au-Prince is like, and that is what Port-au-Prince looks like. But Haiti is not Port-au-Prince. Like, Haiti's a very small country, but there's a lot of other areas to Haiti. And Port-au-Prince is such a small part of it. And, we're living out here. And yes, Haiti is hard. Like, Haiti has its own hardships, but I don't feel not safe. And I think there's a lot of people that are living in Cap Haitian and Jacmel and Lacaille and, different areas that would say the exact same thing, that Haiti is hard in different ways. It's hard to travel. You can't always travel on all of the roads that you wish you could to get to Port-au-Prince and get supplies. And, Haiti's very centralized and everything goes through Port-au-Prince, unfortunately. But I would say, as far as day to day, I feel very safe out here. We know that could change. But right now, I'm assuming where you are living currently, you also feel very safe.
Yes, I do.
And so I think, it's not what the news shows you. And I would encourage you to follow people that are living here so that you can see different aspects. There's a bunch of great TikTokers that, are living in Cap Haitian and show you what Cap Haitian's like. And there's a bunch of photographers that travel all around Haiti and show you different beautiful areas of Haiti. Like, I would encourage you to follow more of them, especially as, an American, Haitian American, that don't let the U.S. news tell you what Haiti is like. That's what I would tell you.
Mm-hmm. Someone asked daily that Angelica, is the work you do in partnership with the Haitian government, or is it standalone mission for an organization looking to establish themselves in Haiti? What are some important things or initial steps they should follow?
Yes, so I started the nonprofit. It's a 501c3 based in the U.S., so that people can donate tax deductible. And I started that in October 2022. And I started it because I had worked for a few other nonprofits in the South where I was living. And I had noticed a big disconnect with women being able to go to a lot of the community programs. And a lot of it is just because it didn't fit into their schedule. The programs were scheduled, in the afternoons when a lot of Haitian women are, cooking and having to do things with the kids. And they just weren't accessible to them. And I really wanted to start something that was catered around to women and allowing them to come to different programs that fit their schedule. And maybe it doesn't look like weekly because Haitian women carry a lot on their plate. So maybe it looks like monthly programs that they're able to attend. So it's a standalone mission. I started it in the US technically. We recently were able to get not recently, maybe like 2 years ago, we were able to get our patent. And because there's no actual president, you can't get much further than that right now. And being a Haitian organization, you have to wait until a president can sign off. So I have like the starting process to being a Haitian organization, but it's not finished because of the country. But so yeah, we are a 501c3 based in the US, and we have our patent in Haiti. So we're like kind of recognized, but just not all the way through as a Haitian org. One of the parts of that was what would I recommend or how would I recommend starting? I would say if you are American and you're able to start a 501c3, I would start there because that's where a lot of your donors are going to come from and they're going to want the tax write-off. They just are. And then after that, you can focus on the Haiti side of things because it comes a lot later. And at this point, you have to wait until there's a president.
For you to be able to take those steps. What have the process been like up until the patent? Because a lot of organizations in Haiti, they are operating without the proper paperwork. You'd be surprised. A lot of big organizations, right?
Yeah, and that's something that was really important to me. Like, I wanted to make sure that we were, again, we're not fully established, but I wanted to make sure that we were, we'll call it established as we can be right now.
You're recognized.
And I wanted to make sure that that was a thing because, number one, just because Haiti's government is kind of a hot mess right now doesn't mean that you should take the steps to be as legal as you can, right? And it really wasn't hard. Like, it wasn't hard. I do know that the next step is a lot harder. I know, you need to get a Haitian board together and you need to get a lot more things. But the main problem with why Americans, at least, don't get recognized in Haiti is because you need your permanent residence. And a lot of Americans do not have their permanent residence. So
I'm coming to ask you that too. I'm coming on that too. Since you already there, a lot of people are wanting to know. I mean, just as an American, do you live and get all of the privileges as a Haitian citizen? What is it like for you? What are some rules that is against you, that limits you being an American living in Haiti? And can you get your permanent residency?
Yeah, so you can get your permanent residency. And that is something that a lot of Americans do not have because it is a process. I think a lot of people think Haiti, you can just come and do whatever. Legally, there is a process for things. And it was really important to me. I knew that if I ever wanted to adopt here, I would need to have it for at least 5 years. So I got it like 3 months into living here in 2018. That's the earliest that you can get it. You have to essentially like overstay your first 90-day visa and then you can get your permanent residence. Took a few months. You have to get a medical certificate. You have to set up a bank account. You have to get a COVID test, but that wasn't a thing back then. You have to get a letter saying that you work for a Haitian organization that has a patent. That's good enough. So at the time I was working for a Haitian organization, so I got it through them. And then when my permanent residence renews, it will be under my own organization. The book renews every 5 years, but every year you need to go and get a stamp on the book and you have to pay. But you get an entire new book. It's like a passport looking thing. You have to get an entire new book every 5 years. Like a new photo, you have to get fingerprinted. So it's quite the process. But it was worth it to me because I knew that I wanted to potentially adopt one day. I have not done that. Like I've lived here since 2018. I have not adopted. But now, I didn't know that I would ever start an organization here. I didn't know that I would ever buy land here. And that has allowed me to do that. So I'm very grateful that I did it. So yeah.
Do you think, had it not been that, would it have been harder for you? Are you able to open a Haitian bank account? What have those process been like? And I ask that because you do have a lot of Haitians who are now naturalized US citizens that want to move back home. And they will now fall under the same guidelines as you.
Yeah.
What have that transition been like for you coming into Haiti?
Yeah. So, like I said, I was able to do it 3 months after officially moving here. And I was living in Port-au-Prince. So it was a lot easier because I could just go to a medical office. I could just go to the bank and do all of that stuff. I've had friends try to do it since moving outside of Port-au-Prince, and it was a little bit more difficult because you have to go to the government offices in Port-au-Prince, and you also have to do that every 5 years. So every year you can send it through Cap Haitian, but every 5 years when the book renews, you have to physically go to Port-au-Prince. So my book renewed in 2023, and I did go to Port-au-Prince to renew it, like legally. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Let me ask you too, Angelica, what has been the hardest part about moving to Haiti?
I think it's figuring out where to get everything. You can't just go to the store and buy a couch. You can't just go, you can buy certain things very easily. Like you can buy a freezer very easily. You can buy a small fridge very easily. You can buy a table and chairs very easily. But a good mattress, very hard to find. A couch that you actually want to sit on, very hard to find. And I think that is something that it took me years to build up like what I have, and either bringing stuff into the country a little bit at a time, or just realizing where I could buy stuff, especially when you're talking about the outskirts of Port-au-Prince. Like in Port-au-Prince, it's a lot different. You can get a lot of stuff. But even as far as Cap Haitian, like stuff is just not as accessible as it is in the US. So I think that was a big learning curve for me. And I think that's why, going back to the relationship thing, it's so important to like know your neighbors and get to know your community, because they help you do all of that. Like my neighbors help me know where to get everything. And I think especially if you've been living in the US for a long time, the Haiti that you grew up with may not be the Haiti that you're coming back to. And the area that you grew up in may not be the area that you're choosing to go back to. A lot of people grew up in Port-au-Prince. You may choose not to restart your life in Port-au-Prince. So I think it is a whole different world. Even from when I moved here in 2018, like things are always changing. More roads are always being blocked. This is becoming unsafe. And I think you're always having to adapt different ways of doing things. So I think, that was, I think, the most difficult, is like building up what in the US, if you had the money, would take a week to go and buy different things.
Mm-hmm. Was it difficult to adjust to some of these difficulties? Did it take you time to adjust, or did it come naturally?
No, I don't think it came very naturally. I feel like I'm a very structured and organized person, and I like things to, be in a timely manner and stuff like that. And Haiti doesn't really run like that. There's a lot of things that they just don't happen the way that you think they should, especially with an American mindset. And I think it took me a long time to realize that there is a beauty in slowing down, and there is a beauty in not always being rushed to get to the next thing. But, when you're talking about not being able to find certain things, or, when you go to town one day, they have a certain item, and then when you go to town the next week, it's gone. It can be very frustrating. So I would say I don't think I adapted super easily, but I think I knew I wanted to live here. And I think I was determined to live here. And I think, aside from being organized and, very type A, I'm also very stubborn. So I think I was really determined to make this something that works, because I really wanted to live here.
Wow. What are some misconceptions that people have about Haiti that's true, and that's some is like way off?
So somebody asked me this on TikTok the other day, and I responded, and I think my answer was pretty good. So somebody asked me if Haiti is like the poorest country, is I think how they worded the question. And I told them, yes, like economically, Haiti is very poor. Like economically, most people are making less than $100 a day. And we just discussed earlier how much we think you need to live in this country to just get by, to live, not even super, lavish. It's not $100 a month. It's like 10 to 12 times that. So I would say, yes, Haiti is poor economically, but I would say as far as like, what do you consider poor? Like people here, like economically, yeah, people here don't have a lot. They do not. But I've also seen people give like literally the shirt off their back for their neighbor. Somebody that doesn't have $5 to feed their family the next day will give it to their friends so that they can go get medicine for their sick daughter. And that to me is like a different type of rich, like, no, they don't have a lot of money. They don't. The average Haitian does not. But man, do they look out for their neighbors, and like that is something that I think in America we used to do. I do. Like, I think my grandparents' generation, they used to look out for people. And I think now people don't even know their neighbors. Like, they really don't. Maybe in some communities, I can't speak for everyone, but in a lot of neighborhoods, you don't even know your neighbor's name. And in Haiti, you know your neighbor's name, and you make sure that they're fed, and you make sure that they're taken care of.
You have a sense of family in Haiti. And that is something that I love, about living in Haiti. You kind of feel like you always have someone that's looking out for you. You see how if you were to get sick, recently I had gotten sick, and I was sick for like a month and a half. And it was overwhelming, the amount of love that I received from like everyone. And I was like, sometimes I would joke, I'm like, I'm not about to die yet. Like, but people were coming and they were sharing natural remedies and just bringing different plants and saying, fed this out, ese out. And and it was like they made you know that if something was to happen to me, that I'd be missed, and it's like in the United States, I don't think people have time for that.
They don't.
Do you think, people ask me all the time, Angelica, do you want to go back to the US? And people expect for you to want to run back to the United States. But do you feel like Haiti offers a sense of peace that the United States don't? Am I the only one that feel that way? Have you experienced that?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because when I was single, I got that a lot. Like, when are you going to move home? When are you going to start your life? When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? You're 30. I was 31 when I met my fiance. So I was like not 20 anymore. And, I come from a pretty big Greek family, and they were like, you got to get married. And now, being engaged, and he's also American and his daughter can travel. Like, we are in a very interesting situation because we can still all travel, and we collectively get that question a lot. Like, oh, like, you're going to move back to the US. And my fiance is adamant about never doing that. But we've talked, like, if things get really bad here, like, are we going back to the US? And we both said we try to go to a different country before, just because we feel like the quality of life is better, which is interesting because Haiti has a lot of stress. It does. But I think when you look at Haiti has that covered, like, they take care of their neighbors, they take care of their friends, they take care of their family. One of my friends had a baby in Haiti, and then she just had her second baby in Canada, and she was very nervous about going through postpartum in Canada because she felt like she was so taken care of in Haiti with her Haitian husband's family and with her, community friends and stuff like that. And she said she was really nervous because that's just not how they show up for people where she's from. So I do think that at the end of the day, like, yeah, could my bank account be a lot bigger if I moved back to the US? Sure. Could I live in a much, better maybe situation as far as what I'm able to get at the grocery store or things like that? Sure. But I think, like, the life that I want to raise my kids in and, like, the quality of life that I want to be able to give my kids, it's here. So.
Haiti, right? Let's go into the audience. Haitian Warrior King, thank you for tuning in. Manila, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Haiti. I can't wait to see your beautiful mixed kids with your husband. I'm sure you'll share in that time, right? Sherry Hugh, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, I overstayed my visa. If I overstay my visa, they can still deport me, even as an American of Haitian descent, unless I claim Haitian citizenship by descent at an embassy consulate. Miss Angelica, my father is from Port-au-Prince, and he said that his hometown where he grew up is desolated. Saw trees growing in roads. It's sad. Miss Angelica, please do not give up your American citizenship, whatever you're doing in Haiti. From Miss Marie, underdeveloped as in not industrialized. Remember, right? I remember visiting Haiti for my first time in 2012, and it was a culture shock because the neighborhoods knew each other, and many of our neighbors were extended family due to the local system. No, that's very, very true. How was your experience with building here in Haiti?
Oh, it was way more expensive than what I thought. The budget that we thought it was going to be, it's quite a bit over that. But we started building at a time where the roads were open between my area and Mirabale. And shortly after I bought land, those roads closed. So it made everything a lot more expensive. I would say as far as being able to get stuff, it hasn't been terrible, but it's way more expensive than what we thought. And I think it would be a lot more expensive than what, for sure, the average American thinks, but I think it's probably more expensive to build than most, like, Haitians think, if they're not currently living here. The cost has gone up a ton. My fiance built a very big guest house, and it cost less than what our not very big house is costing. So, and he did that 10 years ago, I think, maybe a little bit less. But stuff has gone up like triple. So it's definitely more expensive. My fiance is the contractor of the house as well. I really lucked out with this man. He's
Yeah, you
also a
looked
builder.
out big. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah. But I feel like it hasn't been terrible. We raised the money for the house, so that took a little bit of time. Um, but we, yeah, I feel like he's been able to lead the crew, and he actually does it as part of like his own ministry. He doesn't have like an actual ministry, but
Mm-hmm.
he feels like the Lord has really called him to help people in his community because he's been, very blessed in his life. And he always told the Lord if he was able to go to the U.S. and come back, or if he was able to go to the U.S. that he would come back, and he did. And he, is in this great community, and he employs local guys to help with the majority of the house, and he shows them different trades and different things. And somebody down the road from us is actually using what he learned by working for him and building him and his future wife. They're getting married this summer, their own house. So it's really, he's a really good guy. But he's done a lot of the grunt work of building the actual house. But I will say it is a lot more expensive than you think.
It is. I don't know how to explain that to people, and the unexpected costs
Yeah.
at times, it can be expensive. My advice to people is make sure you have a trusted individual
Yeah.
helping you,
Yeah.
because naturally, even if you are here, it is expensive. But when you
Oh,
have someone misleading you, stealing from you,
yep.
not being transparent with you about prices, telling you a sack of cement is $20 a bag when it's really 10. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So
Oh,
it
yeah.
end up being double strain for you. So if you are planning on building in Haiti, if you are building, be sure that you have people who are really good helping you.
Yeah.
We're approaching the hour, and I promised you I'd keep you for an hour. Sahi said, what area you building your home, your house in? I don't like that question. It is too personal, and no, you do not have to ask that question. But you can give the people an advice on to what area you think is a good area to invest in Haiti, but you do not have to answer exactly what area you're building your home.
Yeah, so just for security, I won't answer that. But I would say the north of Haiti. Again, I don't know about all of the south. I just know the area that I was living in the south. There was a lot of land wars. I've heard rumors that the government owns a lot of the land, and that it's just a lot of family owned from generations back. Where multiple siblings own the land, but one sibling sold the land and stuff like that. But I've heard really great things about the north, the Cap-Haitian area. Obviously not like the city of Cap-Haitian. I don't think there's a ton of land for sale there, but the outskirts of Cap-Haitian, we've heard of a lot of land for sale. Again, it's a lot more expensive than you would think, especially right now being very high, high in demand. But I would say really check out that area. It's a super easy flight in. And you can check it out if you're able to travel back and forth. I would highly recommend buying it in person, building that relationship over time with people and telling them that you're looking for land and stuff like that. Yeah, I think the north is a really good area.
Mr. David asks, thank you for tuning in, David. How's it going? I tuned in late. What type of work do you do in Haiti?
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit that works with women. We do job creation initiatives, we do Bible study, we do school sponsorships for their children if they're not able to afford to send them to school. We partner with some single moms and help them send their children to school. And yeah, we started doing some community outreach with the elderly, and that's been so fun. We do a fellowship program with them once a month.
Awesome. Holly, thank you for tuning in. Holly asks, "Hi, my husband is Haitian. He is trying to come back to the US. Is it costing a lot of money to get here?"
Does she mean from Haiti to the US?
I'm guessing so because she did mention that he is Haitian.
Yeah, plane tickets are very expensive. Um, my fiance and I have gone through the DR a few times because we are able to cross. So if you're American, I would highly recommend crossing into Santiago and flying out of Santiago or Santo Domingo. But Sunrise Airways is pretty much the only company. I think IBC flies as well. And they're like $800 just to get to Miami. But I have heard they're starting more flights. That's about the same cost to get all the way to Boston. So if you're from the north, New York or Boston area, that might be good. But it's a lot more expensive than it used to be when other airlines were flying in. But they're able to be more of a monopoly right now.
Answer this for me. How has it been flying in Haiti? I mean, share some of that. How do you commute in Haiti?
Yeah, I have started going in and out through the DR a lot. I have tried to fly Sunrise a few times, and the last time I was trying to fly literally last week, and there was bad weather in Cap Haitian, so they canceled the flight, and I didn't have multiple days to wait for them to rebook me. So I went out through the DR, and they did not give a refund. So I would say it's challenging. And I think if I could change one thing right now about the current state of the country, it would be roads opening back up. I'm sure a lot of people would say that because the flight companies are just really taking advantage. It's so expensive and they cancel flights left and right and they don't give you refunds and they don't really care. So yeah, it's very difficult to get from the south to the north or the north to the south or wherever.
What is the average price when you say compare it to 222 in today? What is the price to go from Cap Haitian, let's say, to Port-au-Prince?
From Cap Haitian to Port-au-Prince in 2022 versus today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like in 2022, a lot of people would still try to drive. So that's a lot easier and a lot cheaper.
You enjoy the ride because you ever took that ride?
Yeah, I have.
It's a beautiful ride, right?
Yeah, and now to get from Cap Haitian to Port-au-Prince, number one, the Port-au-Prince airport, I think just recently opened up to Sunrise. So you're able to fly, I think, for $300, 200 something dollars. And it's a 50-minute flight. Not even. No, I think it's like 20 minutes. And then it used to be when the Port-au-Prince airport was closed, which, on and off happens frequently, you have to take like a $2,000 helicopter or something like that. I've never done it, but I've heard some friends that have done it, and that's just stealing people's money.
Wow.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself living in Haiti, Angelica?
I think I've learned that I can do a lot more things like alone than I thought I could. Like I went on a 1-week trip by myself. I moved by myself. Like I didn't know anybody. And I've moved different areas a few times without knowing many people before the move. And I think I learned that I really can do a lot more things alone than I thought. It's funny, before I made this move to where I currently am from the South, I told the Lord, I'm not moving again unless I have a husband. Like, I don't want to do this alone anymore. And then I ended up doing it one more time, and then I found my husband. So I'm glad I did it alone again. But I think I've also learned that because I have been single and because I, have done more things alone, the amount of people that have really stepped up in my life to help, like the amount of people, I said earlier, that have offered to just help me do things and, fix things for me and things like that has been, I really feel like I'm part of the community, and I think that's really special, especially as an American. You know, I think I don't have to be as accepted as I am. But I think it's funny. Some of the TikTok comments make it sound like I shouldn't be in Haiti, but like the community around me that's here is very glad that I'm here. So yeah, I think I've learned a lot.
I've kept you here for over an hour. What are some last words that you would like to share with anyone, who's watching, who have a fear about living in Haiti, who's so stressed, but they really, really want to come back? See, you have a lot of people in the diaspora community. They do want to come back home.
Yeah.
You have a lot of even people who are not Haitian, who are drawn to Haiti, who would
Yep.
like to move to Haiti,
Yep.
but they're so stuck on simply what the media shows about Haiti. They're not stopping to watch Angelica on TikTok, Dorothy on TikTok, Marie on YouTube, or either on TikTok. You have that boy Lens, you have Haitian friends, you have so many, right? I can't name all of them. That is doing everything to portray Haiti in a different light and to show, hey, there is life in Haiti. I don't wake up to a war zone every day. I
Right.
mean, I live. What is your last words to share with people who are tuned in that wants to come to Haiti?
I would say just that it is not what you see on the news. It's just not. And I would really encourage you to follow all of those people that she just listed. I follow so many of them, and I'm able to see different areas of Haiti that I've never been before or that I can't currently get to super easily. But it is not what you see on the news. That's a very small portion of the country. And I would say if that's where you're getting your news, you need to start following other people and try to get more of your news that way, because it is not as scary as the news makes it sound. The news makes it sound like we all are living in a war zone, and we've been on this call for an hour and 7 minutes and you haven't heard any gunshots behind me. So it's not the entire country.
Definitely. It was a pleasure to have you on, Angelica.
Yes,
And,
thanks for having me.
definitely you're welcome here anytime. And if you ever would like my presence on TikTok, just let me know. You
Yes.
have a blessed one. And I just want to say thank you, continue. And I'm wishing you the best on your side in Haiti. And I know you're in good hands, so I don't have to worry about you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angelica. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye bye. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tonight is a reminder that Haiti is not simply what the headline shows. You have real people, family. There is love as well in Haiti. Don't listen to simply what the media have to say about Haiti, guys. People are living in Haiti. Does Haiti come with the difficulties? Yes, it does. The price of living in Haiti, I would be misleading you if I didn't say how expensive it can be moving to Haiti. But once you get yourself settled, you can find you a piece of property and stability. You will have a level of peace. So if you are one that just wants to move back to Haiti, if you are one who's having immigration issues, this is a reminder that there is life in Haiti outside of what the media portray Haiti to be. I thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please share with family and friends.